Welcome back to the Two Broke Girls. What are we called?
Two
The
broke
broke
photographers.
two broke the throws me off.
I'm slightly more broke than last week, which is typical
Uh,
right now. So,
yeah, I've got like $200 worth of things in my cart on AliExpress that will break the bank. Okay, so yeah. Okay. Welcome back to the Two Broke Photographers, episode 2. If you joined us last week, thank you. If this is your first time, welcome to the experience. Last week we spoke more about what not to buy and how you should start your journey in regards to the items you should own or purchase. So, Heather, I'll let you jump in here.
we also talked about what equipment you should get, not just what you shouldn't get. We also talked a little bit about workshops and what kind of workshops that you should actually do and things to look out for. But one of the things that I personally really want to get in today is finding your niche. And I think this is one of the hardest things when you're first starting out is you just want to shoot everything and anything and you'll take whatever you can get, and that is totally great. And I think it's also great that you really explore, because the more you shoot and the more the different types that you actually experience, you're going to learn what you like and what you don't like. And sometimes you have to do something 4 or 5 times to realize that you don't like it or that you do love it. So, how did you start out when, like, did you just know like family and children or newborns were for you? Or was this something that you kind of had to really
Yeah.
figure out as you went along?
Well, fun fact, I actually started out enjoying videography first. Not the typical videography you'll find at like weddings of um, like the slow-mo videos and things like that. I used to like make family videos with like little clips from old VCR videos and then clip them with photos and things like that. So I used to be that person in the family. I was pretty good at it. Like I would make a lot of videos. I had like a full YouTube and I would send it to the family like a link and they could watch the YouTube video. I did that for a lot of people. I even got so far as like my work asked me to do it. I used to work at the grocery store and they had like their anniversary and they asked me to make this video and I got paid for like 5 days to just sit on the computer editing. It was the best. I think that was when I knew I just wanted to sit on the computer and edit and get paid for it. So, yeah, I started out doing video, which was it was still mixed in with photos, but I wasn't driven to take the photos at the start. I was more into cutting videos together. And then I got pregnant with my son and we did his maternity shoot. And it just, watching her with a camera, I was like, oh, I want to do, I miss picking up my camera because I hadn't picked up my camera in a while. And to be honest, I just felt like if she could do it, I could do it. I just felt like I can do it and I could also give people an experience because I felt very rushed at my first photo shoot. It was literally she had the next client at the door. So the minute we finished, she was like, "Oh, the next person's here, you gotta leave." So I felt a lack of experience and
Right.
I realized if I want to do this, and if I did this, I want people to feel special. And so that's where I kind of started. I did kind of get into the niche of family because of that, because I didn't want anyone to feel that way, like feel rushed and not heard. I also asked for a particular setup and she was rushing me out the door because the next people were there and she didn't do that one setup I wanted. And I felt so heartbroken by it and I didn't say anything. I remember walking away and just being so embarrassed to say anything. But I was mad about these few things, but I still like told her, I love everything. Like it's just you feel so uncomfortable to say anything. But I wanted people to have a good experience. So that's where I got into family. It was more about giving them, a good experience. What about you?
You bring up such a good topic because it's not just the photos,
That's
it's about
sure.
the full experience. I think, as someone who's been photographing families for years, I think it's super important that not only does your family have a good experience, but it's definitely important, especially to the kids, that they leave with a good experience, because that's
Mhm.
going to affect their attitude at future shoots moving forward. You don't want to have a crying kid at the next one just because they had such a bad experience at the last one and that's all they remember. So I feel like it's so much about the experience. You could have had beautiful photos that came out of that session, but all you remember is that bad experience that you had feeling rushed and pushed out the
Mm,
door and not getting the one shot that you want. So I
yeah.
think that's definitely something that we need to for sure talk about in our future
Okay.
episodes. For now, I'm going to go ahead and share with you how I got into my niche at this point, which has over the years evolved. And when I first started out, I was shooting and also practicing just portraits. I did it on my friends. We would go out to literal, like anything that I thought was interesting at the time. So we would go to the park or even on playgrounds. And like, I had this idea of having these really nice portraits with the bokeh background. And I don't know, we were like 13 and it was all film and it actually came out really great. I still have those photos. Basically, that morphed into wanting to explore a bit more with weddings. So then I got into weddings about 5 years later and I didn't know what to do or where to go or anybody. I was teaching myself. I actually went to the camera store in my town and I just asked the guy at the counter, how do I get into weddings? Like, I just want to learn. So he was like, well, you should check out so and so. And so before I think we had Blackberries maybe at that point, but he's like, yeah, here's a number to so and so. And so I gave them a call and then that was the end of that. I got out of photography for a little bit while I was going to school. And then I got back into it working. I did street fashion. First, it was in Italy. And then when I changed schools and went to London, I was doing street fashion for a publication there, which led to Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, and some other things.
And this is over 20 years, isn't it? Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Part of doing the fashion and all of that for press, it was still portraits at the end of the day. It was just a sort of a different genre. And then when I came back to the USA, I got back into portraits and then I dabbled slightly in weddings again. And then I was like, I don't want to give up my couples, but I also don't want to do full day weddings. Like, this is not
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, it's totally different. It's totally different. I think when you find your niche, you won't go back to like events are so different to portraits. I agree.
I miss that connection. Like, I love
Mm,
my couples and I love the portraits. And I even
mm,
love doing the bane of wedding photographers' existence, which is like the family portraits. I even love that. But I needed the connection and I needed to
yeah.
explore that and explore people. And I couldn't really do that through events. So I got into doing just elopement. So I was living in Las Vegas and I was doing elopements. It was great. It was on the
Wow.
strip and I've
That'd
done
be
in the
so fun.
chapels. I know. It was great. We would like have the wedding ceremony and then we'd like hop into a limo and they'd have us go to different areas around town, which I had decided with a couple beforehand. And then we'd literally just dash out of the limo, take photos, dash back
Mm,
in, go to the next spot. It was great.
that sounds
So
amazing.
that's kind of, yeah, I didn't want to give them up and I loved it. So I kept doing that in portraits. Even today,
Okay.
that's what I'm still doing.
Elopements, a little bit of family or no?
So, well, now today, as we speak, I do courthouse weddings. So I get that
Well,
sort of elopement in there. And then I just do portraits.
what kind of portrait did you
I prefer portraits in the studio. I love them outdoors, but I feel like maybe I'm just getting to a certain age or something. But I just like going into the studio and it's air conditioned and it's heated and all my gear is there. And I don't just, it's just nice. And
It's comfortable. I love the studio.
yes, it's so comfortable. I don't have to worry about
Yeah,
dust and the weather, rescheduling. Come on.
exactly. Exactly.
Come
I
on.
hate rescheduling. It's the worst.
Basically, that's what I love doing. I prefer the studio. I love outdoors. It's just when I'm at the beach every day, it's very predictable in San Diego,
Mm.
which is great. But for now, yeah, just focusing on courthouse weddings and portraits. So, but I don't know. I'm really impressed that you can do newborns because for me, that is one of the most difficult niches.
But everyone feels that way about a different niche. No, but when I look at weddings and events, especially because even doing family photos outdoors with the changing sunlight, just the thought of people following people around on their wedding day with the sun changing, that gives me an anxiety attack you wouldn't believe. And I don't know how people do that. Honestly, like if I have to do a family photo shoot outdoors, I'm picking 30 minutes before sunset, going into the blue hour, and that's it. That's just safe, comfortable, easy. I am not switching the time up. I'm in my little safety zone. I can't imagine.
Especially when the
Yeah.
wedding is like running behind or something and the
So
timeline's
I
not.
don't know how they do it. You guys, good on your wedding photographers. Like respect because I will stick to my little studio, and I told you I will stick to my sunset window, and that's it. That's what I'm comfortable with. I do events sometimes, but every time I leave the house, I am like praying to God that it goes well because I have anxiety about it. I don't like the changing light. I don't like it. The more you understand light, that's why you panic about that stuff because you know how hard it is. I like consistency in my work, and I think that's another comfort zone. I know that if I shoot it exactly at that time in that little 45-minute window, I'm going to get exactly what I want from it. The editing's going to be the same. My goodness, editing an event with, the sunset or, you went from outdoor, indoor, and all the lights different, and the time it takes to edit all that. And people expect them back faster. Like, that's the crazy thing.
Like
People are
it's
like, oh, it's my
easier.
wedding. Yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, you did my wedding like yesterday. Can I have my photos today? It's like, do you know how much light changing there was? How much things I have to do? Do you know how many grandparents close their eyes in the do you know how many? And also that the more faces, the more editing, the more
Uh,
faces, the more culling you have to do. Yeah. See, that's what I mean. That's how you pick your niche, right? You eliminate as well. So I definitely wasn't into the events at the beginning. I did a few birthday parties and cried about it. I've recently come back into doing events because I've grown with confidence with lighting and my gear and things like that. But I did cut it out for a little while after I tried it because it just freaked me out.
I will say though, if you take out all the technical settings and editing and everything else, events are the funnest.
I like how people treat me. People are so nice to the photographer.
Well, they're just there to have a good time.
Yeah, but for me, like, I feel like people are so kind and they want to feed you, and I love to be fed.
I just go for the
Um,
cake. That's the only reason I do weddings. So,
the only thing that's ever bothered me at an event is when someone walks up to me while I have my big camera in my face with an iPhone and I want to just, just smack them with it. I take the photo that I want because they're paying me. So I don't care about your photo. I take the photo with my camera and then they think I'm automatically gonna get their phone and take the photo. But by then the people have left. And I go, oh sorry, and then I just give it back to them. I just hold it and forget to do something with it. You know what I mean? I don't know what an iPhone is. But honestly,
oh
I'm
my
getting
gosh.
paid. I'm getting paid by the client. At the end of the day, my job is to satisfy the client. And me taking that auntie, I'll call it auntie, the auntie's phone to take that photo. Do you know what I mean? Like, those people left. They always leave. Whenever you have a big group of people to get together to take a group shot at say, a birthday party or whatever, the minute the photo's taken, they're talking to someone, they're eating, they're walking off. So for me, I do it to be funny, but it's also for a reason. I'm taking that camera photo first because those people are gone. And they're always gone. It never works out. I'm never going to take two things. Those people
See,
are,
it's
yeah,
funny that you say that because I always look at this as an opportunity. Like, yes, I'm there to make sure that I do my clients like exactly what they need. I'm there to get that and they come first. But I also look at this as in the back of my mind as an opportunity to also get more clients. So I always try to make a connection. Like that's all
yeah,
I do is try to make a connection with them. If they want a photo on their phone or something, I'm like, oh, I'll take it on mine. And then that way I can either, airdrop it to them or get their number or something to start building a connection. I'll take it on mine and I'll edit for you or something. Like I
yeah.
don't always do it, but I just try to find those opportunities. And then that will lead at some point to either word of mouth referral or something in the future where they actually book me as well. Or when they do need a photographer, I'm top of mind because oh, I was so amazing. I would say a wedding is a little different from other events, but I definitely try to make those connections to a certain few people, and that is always
It's free
proven really good.
marketing. It's free networking. And that's
Yeah.
another thing that I kind of think about doing more events because it's true. Like I said, people are nice to the photographer and they always want to book you just from seeing you. They haven't even seen your work. They just
Yeah.
trust it. And they see you being professional. They see you interacting with people and they just want to book you based off, like you said, the experience. You're giving them your personality, your experience,
Yeah.
and they just want to book you based off that. So I've definitely gotten a whole bunch of people asking me for cards at, like a first birthday just because they saw me there. They didn't even see the end of the product. So it's definitely good for networking some events. Like you said, weddings are fun and events can be fun too. So you'll find your niche along the way. Trial and error is the best way, but you might have your calling, early on. You might be from the get-go, you're really inspired to take all the family photos in your whole generation and everyone knows you as the family photographer and that's just what you do because you enjoy it.
It's also okay to do both events and family photography. Like doing more than one niche is absolutely okay, in case we didn't make that clear before.
I feel like everybody has their calling or they will find it. And like Heather said, you can do two things. Your niche, it doesn't have to be super narrow. So for me, over the years, what I've narrowed in to is families, newborns, everything basically the first 2 years of life. And I also, I keep up with the family portraits every year. But the first 2 years is my main area. I still rope that in and make those connections with families to do not just their newborn, but also to do their baptism, do their cake smash, do their all those events. I just let them know that I'm available for all that. And you kind of become the family photographer and they will tell you to do their sister's kid, blah, 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 and you'll just continue. So you'll find your niche along the way. Don't stress. If you start with something small to begin with, maybe you're someone that just likes taking photos of buildings and people in the street. And then eventually you're like, oh, I like faces. And then faces is you take photos of your family and it just kind of morphs into itself. So just start learning your camera first, like we said last week. Start learning lighting and then find what inspires you and what you want to continue doing. And again, you can do two things. So don't stress too much about narrowing yourself into just one. There's so much photography out there. So there's families, newborns, there's events, there's commercial photography, there's corporate photography, which is kind of a little bit different to commercial, but I mean, big, big commercial photography. There's, headshots, portraits, fashion. There is so much out there. And I don't know if I've missed any, but
Landscape, wildlife.
exactly. There's so much. There's a mixture of multiple categories, right? Pet photography sometimes goes into family photography because people want pictures with their pets. So, like I said, you find and morph into what you want to do. So,
and I really do want to reiterate as well, try everything. It's the only way that you're going to find out what you love. And like do it early on. Don't sort of pigeonhole yourself into one sort of area, one niche, and then wait 5 years to try something else. And then from there, you can continue to work and narrow it down. I think one of the biggest mistakes that I made was not doing that quickly enough. I know now that I love pets, but it took me over 20 years to try to do pets. But after doing them, I know this is not my specialty. So let's wrap this up together. First steps. Okay, try everything, explore all the different niches, explore photographing objects, people, pets, everything, events, see what you like and what you don't like, and start slowly niching down into what you love the most.
So what we want to know from you this week, leave a comment. Are you a new photographer that's watching or are you a seasoned photographer? We're interested in who's watching our videos. Let us know. Are you at the beginning of your journey? Are you in the middle? Are you at the end? Are you retiring soon? Are you sick of this genre? Tell us where you are in your photography journey.
And if you haven't already, please subscribe, follow us, get on our email list so you can stay up to date with all of the things that we have coming up. And don't forget, we will have a new episode for you every Friday. It's going to be great.